You are listening to the Rewards Canada podcast.
Hello, and welcome to episode 106 of the Rewards Canada podcast. In this episode, we return to our Everyday Value series with a look at credit cards that will help you avoid those dreaded airline and airport fees. Our Everyday Value series looks to help Canadians from all walks of life to learn how they can receive more value and maximize the benefits from loyalty programs and credit cards, all without the need of being a frequent flyer or a high credit card spender, although this series helps them as well. So, if you are as old as I am, you'll remember the days of when you could buy an airline ticket, and that included everything. It included your seat selection, your checked bags, your meals, you name it, everything. But fast forward to, at least the last decade and a half, probably even approaching close to 2 decades, and ancillary fees have become the norm for airlines as they unbundled their pricing. So ancillary fees are charged by airlines for things like seat selection, checking luggage, buying food on board, and so much more. I mean, they're huge revenue generators for the airlines. They said they would bring down ticket prices, and I think on average, ticket prices, based on inflation and everything, have come down. I mean, can't really say that right now in mid-2023 because of all the revenge travel happening and everybody going out and traveling again now that the pandemic is pretty much, or we've closed the door on the pandemic, that there's so much travel happening that pricing has gone up. But in general, the airlines have tried to bring down pricing by splitting out all these other things. They generate a lot of revenue for them. And so they'll always be there. So now you're not going to really find the lump sum pricing of yesteryear. That's antiquated. It's something, gone the way of the dinosaurs we will probably never see again. So now with, the way airfares are right now, you can choose to fly on, the lowest cost possible with a lot of airlines. And these can be like really low. Like when I post travel specials on the site, especially for like Aer Lingus or TAP Air Portugal, if you take their absolute rock bottom economy class fares, you can get Canada to Europe for sometimes under $400 round trip. But those include nothing. Like they literally include a personal item, not even an additional carry-on, or doesn't include, checking luggage, those type of things. I mean, it depends on the airline. I mean, some will allow you a carry-on as well. But anyways, you can only, the absolute cheapest way is to do that. And then you only select your seats at check-in or let the airline just select your seat and so on. But in general, a lot of us like to know or need to know that we'll be sitting together with our travel companion or families, and that if we're traveling for an extended period of time, it's very hard to go with just carry-on luggage, so you have to check some luggage. So then that's where you're going to have to be paying these fees. And so how do you go about saving yourself some money by avoiding those fees? Well, the good news is there are some credit cards in the Canadian market that allow you to save some cash, with these fees that are being dished out by the airlines. I mean, some of them will always cover your checked bags, while others provide annual credits that can be used for various fees charged by the airlines or even airports. So the first one we're going to look at are baggage or luggage fees. This is definitely the most disliked fee of all that the airlines charge their customers. And unless you're flying on a more expensive fare, which then defeats the purpose of saving money while you're traveling, you can avoid the baggage fees by utilizing some credit cards. The most famous one was the trendsetter for this category, and that was WestJet and their WestJet RBC World Elite MasterCard. This card covers the first check bag fee for the cardholder and up to 8 guests on the same reservation. So now with first check bag fees running at a minimum of $30 Canadian or US $30, you can see how this will quickly save you money. A family of 4 going to Disney World would be, it would cost them $120 each direction. So $240 in baggage fees round trip. And that is saved by having this card, which only costs $119 a year. So you're already saving money that way. A lot of our readers have always told us that this is the sole reason they have this card. They don't really even care about the companion fare or the WestJet dollar earning. The fact that it saves them on their luggage is the sole reason they have the card. And then the next cards that offer the same benefit. And so what I'm saying, that is an always on benefit. It's not it's not limited to a certain dollar amount or anything. Literally, it's just as long as you have the card and it's tied into your WestJet Rewards account, you will get your first check bag for free. And they can even pay for the flight with a different credit card. It doesn't have to be on the WestJet card. And so the same thing happened with Aeroplan. When they revamped in late 2020, their premium and ultra premium credit cards matched WestJet. with their own first check bag free offers. So these are your premiums. This is the TD Aeroplan Visa Infinite, the CIBC version as well, American Express Aeroplan card, and then the Ultra Premium, which are the Visa Infinite Privileges and the Amex Aeroplan Reserves, and even the business versions of those same cards, get the first check bag free. So what this is, the card holder and traveling companion, same thing, up to 8 traveling on the same reservation will get their first check bag free. So as long as it originates on an Air Canada flight, and I think that's same with WestJet too. So that's a key. If you are on a code share and returning, say you're flying Air Canada to, I don't know, Newark, and then you connect to United to somewhere in the States, and then on your return, you're flying United first and not Air Canada, you will not get the savings because it's United who's checking you in. So that's something to be aware of. So it's not a foolproof way of saving cash on baggage fees, but for the most part, as long as your travel is originating on an Air Canada flight, you will get this benefit. And so same thing, significant savings each time for when you are traveling and checking luggage. Just a really good benefit that TD, CIBC, and Amex added to these cards back in 2020. I mean, I don't know how much the WestJet card affected them, but it definitely, the amount of people I talked to over the years of the inception of that offer on the WestJet card, the amount of people who got a card just for that, it's a lot of people. Now, you have 2 other cards in the Canadian market that can help cover baggage fees as well, and those are the HSBC World Elite MasterCard and the National Bank of Canada World Elite MasterCard. What these cards have are annual credits, so these aren't always on baggage fee offers. So basically, if what you do is pay your baggage fees with this card, and then when that charge posts to your account, you can submit a request and have it deducted from your annual credit. So the HSBC World Elite MasterCard offers a $100 annual travel enhancement credit that can be used for baggage fees and other fees, but since we're talking about baggage fees, so some people you charge it to the HSBC World Elite MasterCard, and then you redeem it to cover those charges. And the credit renews every year on your card anniversary date. National Bank cards similar, except they offer up to $150 each year in refunds for travel expenses. And same thing, once your fees are to your card, you submit a request to National Bank, submit the supporting documents, which should be your baggage receipt fee, or baggage fee receipt. So make sure you save that, and then you send it in, and you'll receive the credit. And that's also the same thing, an annual benefit that renews on your card anniversary date. So next up, we have seat selection fees. These aren't maybe as dreaded as much of baggage fees, but especially because they're avoidable if you choose to let the airline pick your seats, when you go check in, or the ones that allow you to check in, select the seat for free 24 to 48 hours beforehand. Ultra low cost carriers in most cases will always charge you it unless you let them assign you your seat. Usually it's not as dreaded as baggage fees, but still, if you want to make sure that you have seats that you desire, you want extra leg room, or you want to sit with your travel companions, or maybe even you want to upgrade at time and check-in, you have to pay those seat selection or upgrade fees. So there's really only 2 cards that cover this, and it's the same 2 that I was just talking about, the HSBC World Elite MasterCard and the National Bank World Elite MasterCard. Same deal. The $100 credit on the HSBC World MasterCard can be applied to this. $150 off the National Bank Canada World Elite can be applied to this, to seat selection fees. Now, you have to understand that these credits aren't per category. They're in total. So say you paid $30 in baggage fees on your HSBC card, you would have $70 left to use on other fees like seat selection. Or if you had the National Bank, if you did $30 baggage fees, you'd have $120 left towards seat selection or other fees. And so that leads us into other fees that are typically found, if you're flying ultra low cost carriers. Airlines like Lynx, Flair, Canada Jetlines have fees that are left, right, and center for pretty much everything. And again, HSBC World Elite National Bank will cover some of those fees. Maybe not all of them, but you'll want to check your reimbursement rules for your card to see which additional fees they may cover. But for the most part, most of the fees do tie into baggage or seat selection. I'm not sure if they'll cover something like priority boarding. That's something you have to check with your card issuer. I believe HSBC would, not sure if National Bank would. So definitely check with your card issuer to see if something like that would be covered up. So those cover the airline fees. So next up, you have airport fees. And yes, some cards will even cover fees that are not associated with an airline. So this is perhaps when you drive to the airport and you're paying parking fees, or maybe you want to access a business class lounge before your flight and you don't have free passes, or like something like the Platinum card from American Express that always covers your entry. So you have to pay the entry fee. So there are cards you can use to pay for such fees or give you discounts on those fees. So the first two, or first couple cards, are the American Express Aeroplan Reserve card and the Platinum card from American Express. These cards include, and also I should mention, their business versions of them have several benefits for when you are driving and parking at Toronto Pearson International. They include complimentary valet service at the Express Park and Daily Park, and they also give you a 15% discount on parking rates at those two, at the Express Park, Daily Park. Basically, you'll receive a statement credit after the charge has been posted to your account. So there you're saving on fees. So it's not totally clearing your fees. I mean, the complimentary valet is cool, but then you have to tip in that. Just be aware. I guess you don't have to tip, but it'd be nice, especially if you're getting complimentary. But yeah, 15% off your parking is a good deal, and you receive the statement credit after. So I assume if they have other deals, you can probably assign it because they won't know. I mean, Amex shouldn't know that you used a coupon for further discounts because it's it's a statement credit after the fact. So yes, you might be able to stack some offers there for parking. Maybe some people who do park at Toronto can let us know if that is the case. Let us know in the comments below if you're watching while listening this on YouTube, or send us an email or comment below in the blog post. Here again, for these, you probably utilize, or not so much for parking, but you can utilize the travel credits off the HSBC World Elite and National Bank World Elite MasterCards for lounge access, and they both actually specify this. They both have the free annual membership in MasterCard Travel Pass by Dragon Pass. However, they don't have free passes, so you have to pay the lounge entry fees. That's the discounted rate. So you are getting a better rate than walk up or even booking directly with the lounges. But it is that directed or discounted access rate that you can submit to either card for credit, as long as you still have some of that annual credit to use. As I mentioned before, if you haven't used it up for other fees, you can use it towards lounge access fees. And then finally, all Canadian issued Visa Infinite Privilege cards receive discounts on parking or valet services at Montreal, Ottawa, and Vancouver airports. Montreal is 10% on valet parking. Ottawa gives you a 20% discount on standard parking fees in the parkade. Plus, there's dedicated Visa Infinite Privilege parking spots in P3 of the parkade on a first-come, first-served basis. And then Vancouver, if you use Gateway Valet parking, you get a 20% discount there. And again, they also have dedicated parking spots that are closer to the terminal. So those are the things. So the airport fees, not so much are you going to get them fully reimbursed. Well, you might the lounge access with your HSBC and National Bank cards, but the others are discounts on your parking that can help out as well. Now, to close out this everyday value lesson, there's one more method you can save on airline fees, and this is a method that's not, an issued credit, benefit, or rebate on the cards, like the first check bag free things, or those annual credits on the HSBC, National Bank. But many of today's credit cards that allow you to redeem points towards any travel charge that's posted on your account. So you can use the points you've earned to redeem against those fees. And so this is basically you're getting cash back for some of those fees. You're using up a points balance that you may use towards something else, so take that into consideration. But this is if you're looking to save money on that said trip right then and there, once these fees post, like baggage fees, seat selection fee, and other fees charged by the airline, including onboard food and drinks purchases, they will appear as a charge from the actual airline on your statement. So it is considered a travel charge, and you can redeem your points against those charges once they post your account. You can choose to cover the entire cost or only a portion. It's really up to you. It's whatever you desire. So say you paid $30 to check your bag when you were flying with WestJet. Once that $30 charge posts to your account, you can redeem points for it. For example, it would be 3,000 American Express membership rewards points to cover the entire amount. And I'm not taking into account GST here, just for the sake of making this a little more simple. Something like BMO rewards, you would need 4,500 points to cover the same amount, and so forth. And the programs that allow you to do this include American Express membership rewards, which we mentioned, BMO rewards, which we mentioned. There's also ATB My Rewards, which is Alberta Treasury branches. Desjardins bonus dollar rewards allow you to do it. HSBC rewards lets you do it. Mind you, HSBC, you have set limits as to where you can start redeeming at. Like you have to do 25,000 points, and then 10,000, then 10,000. So they may not cover some of your lower fees, but if you're paying some higher fees for some certain things, you can use your HSBC Rewards points to it. National Bank a la carte rewards will let you do it. Scene Plus is another one. That's a good one to use for that, especially considering their earn rates. And then TD rewards as well allows you to do it. So these are cards, all across the board. These are like the Cobalt card from American Express, the BMO Ascend World Elite from BMO, Desjardins Odyssey World Elite MasterCard, the National Bank World Elite, which we mentioned, HSBC World Elite. For Scene Plus, it's things like Scotia Passport, Visa Infinite, and the Gold American Express card and others. And then TD, it's your like first class Visa Infinite card and Platinum Travel Visa card. And so though that covers everything into how you can use credit card benefits and credit card rewards to help you avoid airline fees or bring down the costs of your airline, airport, and other fees associated with travel. Just to save you some cash and avoid those extra headaches of having to budget for more things when you travel. I hope you enjoyed this everyday value lesson, and that is all she wrote for this episode. Be sure to help spread the word so that we can keep bringing you the best loyalty rewards content in Canada. Share the podcast, hit the like button, leave a 5-star review on your favorite listening platform, and so on. Have yourselves a great day, and I will talk to you next time. The Rewards Canada podcast is produced in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, with music produced by Regina's own TWKOP.